Welcome to our channel Feen Eco Aspire. Qatar is a peninsula located on the southern shore of the Persian Gulf, neighboring Saudi Arabia in the south and near the United Arab Emirates in the southeast. The state of Qatar occupies 11,437 square kilometers, 4,416 square miles, on a peninsula that extends approximately 160 kilometers, 99 miles, north into the Persian Gulf from the Arabian Peninsula. The land is mainly flat and rocky, with its highest point being Qurayan Abu al-Bal at 103 meters, 338 feet. The terrain is mostly flat and barren desert covered with loose sand and gravel. Notable features include coastal salt pans, elevated limestone formations along the west coast under which lies the Dukhan oil field, and massive sand dunes surrounding Khawa al-Udayyad, an inlet of the Persian Gulf in the southeast known to local English speakers as the Inland Sea. The estimated population of Qatar in 2023 is approximately 3 million. The currency of Qatar is the Qatari Riyal, QAR, and the exchange rate is $1 equals 3.640 Qatari Riyal. The capital city of Qatar is Doha, which is located on the east coast of the Qatar Peninsula in the Persian Gulf. More than 2/5 of Qatar's population lives within the city's limits. Doha is also the main financial hub of Qatar. Qatar has one of the highest GDP per capita in the world, ranking generally among the top 10 richest countries on world rankings. The gross domestic product, GDP, of Qatar was worth $179.68 billion in 2021, according to official data from the World Bank. Qatar's economy is heavily dependent on its oil and gas reserves, which account for more than 70% of total government revenue, more than 60% of gross domestic product, and roughly 85% of export earnings. Qatar has the world's third largest proven natural gas reserve and is the second largest exporter of natural gas. Before the emergence of petrol-based industry, Qatar was a poor pearl diving country. The exploration of oil and gas fields began in 1939. In 1973, oil production and revenues increased dramatically, moving Qatar out of the ranks of the world's poorest countries and providing it with one of the highest per capita incomes in the world. Foreign direct investment, FDI, flows into Qatar have generally followed an upward trend in the past several years, thanks to the country's political stability, a stable currency pegged to the US dollar, high-quality infrastructure and one of the lowest corporate tax rates in the world, 10%. The largest contributors to FDI inflows are the US, Japan, South Korea and Singapore, while the main sectors attracting foreign investment are oil and gas, construction, public works and financial services. The Qatar Stock Exchange, QSE, is the principal stock market of Qatar. The market started operations in 1997 and is located in the capital city of Doha. QSE is a full member of the World Federation of Exchanges and was recently upgraded by the MSCI and the S&P Dow Jones Indices. Qatar's foreign currency reserves consist of 4 categories: foreign securities, balances with foreign banks, gold, special drawing rights, SDR, at the International Monetary Fund, IMF. In September 2022, Qatar Central Bank's foreign currency reserves exceeded $215 billion. In 2021, the total value of imports to Qatar was $25,835 million United States dollars. Qatar's main imports are transport equipment and parts, 19% of total imports, nuclear reactors, boilers, machinery and mechanical appliances and parts, 15%, base metals and articles thereof, 11%, and electrical machinery and equipment and parts, 10.7%. The top 5 countries from which Qatar imported goods in 2020 were the United States, 15.71%, China, 14.90%, United Kingdom, 7.01%, Germany, 6.12%, and India, 5.19%. In 2020, the total value of exports from Qatar was $51,504 million United States dollars. Qatar's top exports are petroleum gas, $57.2 billion, crude petroleum, $14.8 billion, refined petroleum, $11.1 billion, ethylene polymers, $2.35 billion, and nitrogenous fertilizer, $1.97 billion. The top 5 countries to which Qatar exported in 2020 were Japan, 15.5%, China, 15.2%, India, 14.3%, South Korea, 12.9%, and Singapore, 6.7%. In 2021, Qatar's trade surplus amounted to around $59.22 billion. A trade surplus occurs when the value of a country's exports exceeds the value of its imports, while a trade deficit occurs when the value of a country's imports exceeds the value of its exports. Qatar's fiscal deficit has reduced to 1% in 2021 from 2.3% in 2020 as the country's economic activity bounces back from COVID-19 and its negative effects. The education system in Qatar is jointly directed and controlled by the Supreme Education Council, SEC, and the Ministry of Education and Higher Education, MOEHE, at all levels. The SEC is responsible for overseeing independent schools, whereas the MO is responsible for providing support to private schools. Education in Qatar respects the tradition and conservative nature of its people while espousing the latest technology and pedagogic methods. While the 6 years of primary education are compulsory, all state schooling is free. Qatar's central bank controls the banking system in Qatar. There are several banks in Qatar, including Qatar National Bank, Commercial Bank of Qatar, Doha Bank, Ahli Bank, and Qatar Islamic Bank. There are also foreign banks operating in Qatar, such as HSBC, BNP Paribas, and Standard Chartered Bank. Qatar's banks offer a range of services, including current and savings accounts, loans, credit cards, and investment advice. They also offer electronic banking services, such as internet and mobile banking, contactless payment by mobile, and merchant electronic payment technologies. Qatar executives are optimistic about future prospects for the country, with around 82% expecting the economic growth of the coming 5 years to meet or exceed forecasts. The real gross domestic product, GDP, is projected to grow by 4.9% in 2022, followed by 4.5% and 4.4% respectively in 2023 and 2024, according to the latest report of the World Bank. Please subscribe to the channel.